Production of the J.R. Eldridge Show is made possible with financial support from Turner & Turner, attorneys at law. Blake Bell of Edward Jones Investments. The accounting firm of Turner, Rogers, Manning & Plyler, PLLC. Welch Funeral Home. Roger Wingfield of State Farm Insurance. Southern Bancorp. Southwest Sporting Goods. Taylor King and Associates. Mary and Martha's Florist and Gifts. Price and Company. Doctors Rob and Gary Rucker. Eccles, Thompson and Kneebone. And Farm Bureau Insurance of Clark County. This is the J.R. Eldridge Show with the head coach of the Arkadelphia Badgers. Joining Coach Eldridge today is your host, Caleb Byrd.
Welcome back to another week of the J.R. Eldridge Show. I'm your host, Caleb Byrd. We're joined, as always, by Coach Eldridge, and this week we'll be breaking down Arkadelphia's 22-21 conference opening loss to Nashville on Friday night. It was really a gut-wrenching loss to open the conference season.
Yeah, it was really, really tough to swallow. We during the game felt like we just did not execute as well as we could have. We didn't play as hard as we could have. And normally the team that makes the fewest mistakes and plays the hardest wins the football game. And we were not that team on Friday night, and it's really, really tough to swallow. We had a great team meeting on Sunday to where we were able to kind of get some of those things corrected, and we start from the top down. We start as a coaching staff looking at ourselves, what we could have done different, could have done better, and then we're basically we have a correction session with our football team, and so we were able to do that. Feel like we're going to be able to bounce back from that, and really we've got a choice. We got a choice this week of are we going to allow that to transform our practice habits into better practice habits so that we're not having a bad Tuesday and a good Wednesday. Instead, we're putting together a full week of practice that gets us ready to play on Friday nights. Because that's really where you win football games. You win football games, in practice, and so we just got to be better in practice this week. And as bad as we played at some points in the game, and it was not all bad. There were some good things, and I'm sure we'll see some of the good things on the highlights. But as bad as we played, to still only, to still have a 1-point loss and have a chance at the end to win the football game, just being beat by 1 point, it says to us that we can bounce back, and if we will take those lessons into the practice field this week, then we're going to bounce back very quickly.
And Coach, there were a few plays where it kind of looked like if these couple of plays had gone differently, the whole outcome of the game had gone differently. A few blown coverages on defense, a few drop passes on offense that could have resulted in touchdowns. Is that tough to swallow, to look at those 3 or 4 plays and say if we had done these 3 things differently, we would have won the game?
Yeah, it really is, but it really comes down to just small things within the play that make a huge difference. Just as far as if you're talking about big plays for them offensively in the passing game, we were really concerned about their running game. We were able to kind of take their running game away. But from a coaching staff perspective, I kind of knew that was going to happen. So we've got to be better about our practice scripts and making sure that we have some of those or more of those in there to get our guys ready to play. And and it's fundamentals of those plays that we've got to make sure that we've got coached up within the play. We missed some shots offensively that really that really hurt us as far as, we missed that the shot to Ricky Rogers going in. Felt like if we'd have hit that, we would have scored right there. Some of those things that, just they really do. They eat at you because those are inches that make a ton of difference within the game. So, that's what we've got to do. We've got to go back to practice and be able to bounce back from those things, be able to get those things corrected, and really move on to the next week.
Yeah, Coach, let's take a look at the film and see a few of those plays and talk about what you could have done differently. Starting off, we have the new bell out on the field that was refurbished by Student Senate, kind of a long-standing tradition.
So right here, we've got a kickoff return right here. If we get that block on the outside guy, that's probably to the house right there. So that's one of our first missed executions right there. Right here, if we're able to block back on that number 5, which was the backside backer, if we're able to get up to him like we're supposed to, probably a touchdown right there.
Yeah, the first level of the Nashville defensive line was blocked pretty well, but the second level, the linebackers made a lot of big plays.
Yeah, they're very, very fast. Those guys can run. We get here to the 16-yard line. We did not have a very good practice on our PATs and field goals. We were very inconsistent. So in my mind, I'm thinking 4th and 3 or less within the 20 to the 10 really, then we're going to go for it. We go for it. We aren't able to get it right there.
Unfortunate there. Starts off 0-0, and then the first of these post routes hitting you across the middle of the field.
That was really a beater route. Wasn't a post route, but right there, the beater route, we're supposed to keep inside leverage right there. K-Bob does a really good job later on of keeping that leverage and being able to make a play and gets an interception on a drive right there. He really had 2 interceptions, and if we had players of the game this week, he would be the defensive player of the game. Right here, keeps better inside leverage on the beater route and is able to make an interception. So good in-game adjustment right there by K-Bob.
Yeah, it's Kalen Jones, K-Bob, with a good interception there, jumping that route. Offense can't get anything going on the next drive. Leads to a punt, pin them deep in their own territory.
Yeah, we do right here, and you see right there, if Ricky Rogers will just come to square after he wrong arms right there, he probably makes the play for no gain. I thought really, compared to the other teams that have played Nashville up to this point, we did a relatively good job of shutting down their run. We were very physical on their backs, which was definitely a positive for our defense.
Here's this post route. Is that the beater route or a post route?
That one right there is a post route by the outside guy. So right there, we're in brown coverage, which is our cover 3. So we've got to get out quicker and really, really bail and squeeze that post down to make a play on the ball. Drape and scrape, get the ball out instead of him running by us because we don't bail.
That time, the free safety, Kalen jumps that route, makes another interception, second of the game.
Yeah, he did a really good job. He graded out in the secondary, did a really good job in the secondary for us. Kai, you saw him running the football there. Kai ran really hard. We had 2 100-yard rushers, which was a good thing. But our drives, even when we'd get in their territory, we stalled out until really the 3rd quarter.
Went for it on 4th down right there on the fake punt. That was the first time we've seen that this year.
Yeah, so we were backed up. One of the things we got to do better, we've got to make it look more like a fake punt or make it look more like we're punting. We didn't move back to 7 yards. We're supposed to move back to 7 yards and make sure that they can tell that they punt on that we were about to punt. But on the previous punt, we saw that their linebackers did not blitz versus that punt. So right there, we felt like we could keep those linebackers in coverage instead of blitzing us, but we didn't move back to 7 yards, which cost us.
Some good running here. Cannon and Kyron both did a good job running on the ground, just when it got down into the red zone, unable to punch it in.
Yeah, they really did. Here's the shot that we missed right here. Basically we'd set them up to really stop the run, and because we were running the football really well, we take the shot right there. We've got to be able to hit that shot.
One guy who played really well in the defensive line was Jason Campbell. It seemed like he was always in the backfield.
Yeah, Campbell is really, really good for us. He continues to be good. You know, right here, just really disappointed in the flag right here. The line judge on our side didn't throw the flag, and he's got the best position on it. The back judge throws the flag. You know, Jay Sean's doing what he's coached to do. He's got his hands inside, elbows at a 45-degree angle, and he's plowing the defender right there. And then once the defender starts getting off, he lets him go. The guy really wasn't trying to get off the block, so that was upsetting, getting a touchdown taken back right there.
Touchdown taken back, and that was deep into the second quarter. So going into halftime down 0-6.
Yeah, we continue to stop the run right here. Defensive line playing really well right here. You know, just making tackles. Kyron Harrison right there doing a great job throwing his double uppercuts and making a tackle.
Yeah, 3 and out to start the second half. Looking good, and then offense begins to fire in the third quarter. Good run from Buster.
It's good job right here starting us off. We're really mixing it up. Quarterback runs, cat runs, and then our slot runs as well. Doing a good job mixing it up. Get in their territory. Go back to our bread and butter right here. Kai's able to get it in the end zone.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to tackle Kyron at an angle. You have to get him head on.
Yeah, he's really good. Just so proud of the way he plays every week. Really, his production was outstanding. Playing, you know, I think he played 88 snaps, offense and defense. So did a lot for us on both sides of the ball.
Good tackle there. Brings up a long play, and that post route hits you again.
Yeah, really, this play starts up front right here. We've got a blitz on coming from the backside. We run right into the blocker instead of having a move in mind. Savage has got to have a move in mind, and it looked exactly like it did in practice. We coach it up in practice. We've got to have a move ready. We can't run down the middle of an offender that's trying to block us. We feel like if we can get through that gap, we're going to either make a sack or make him hurry up his throw, which would cause an errant throw, and then we've got to, again, bail better on the post route right there and squeeze the post.
Great little play action on the draw. Leads to a 30-yard gain pass to Harrison. Now Turner takes it 30 yards himself down inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, this was a really good run. One thing that I was really disappointed in as far as our offense goes, you know, really you should have seen offensive linemen in the screen. We call it downfield effort. There wasn't much downfield effort right there, and we're going in to score. So we've got to be better about having good downfield effort. Not that they're going to get in front of the blocker, but you never know what can happen in front of the runner, but you never know what can happen on a play. We've got to be better with our downfield effort.
Right. So Nashville's offense comes back on the field, but that's a great interception from Sammy Hawthorne.
Outstanding catch by Sammy right here. He was in great position to make that play, makes the play, gives our offense a chance right here, and then our offense converts and really makes Nashville pay for their mistake right there.
Once again, almost the exact same play, trying to tackle Kyron Harrison from an angle. So that's 2 touchbacks in a row, though, from Ethan Savage in the kicking game. He's getting better at kickoffs.
He really is. I thought Savage did really good on our kickoffs. You know, just placing the ball and really getting his foot into it. Did a really good job for us and put him in a bind as far as field position goes.
Great tackle in the backfield there. Bringing up a long play. Second and long, and now on 3rd and long, a good open field tackle on the reverse.
Yeah, thought we did a pretty good job of staying at home, backside. It's a great conversion right here by Kyron. You know, that's one of the plays that we really practiced well in the game.
A long run here from Cannon Turner, but it's going to get called back for a hold. One of 2 long runs called back for a hold.
Yeah, and I really felt like, again, the holding was lopsided. I mean, you saw on the previous play, even though they didn't convert, Nashville felt like there were actually 2 holds on that play. But right here, you know, something that we always do, is we always pull that guy in motion to run our power read play, and we didn't do that. So another missed execution that cost us right here. Then we come back with a great play design by Coach Moreland, and Jay Sean makes a big play right there.
Yeah, that shovel pass, you ran it twice, and it worked each time.
It did. So this play right here on 4th down, we really wanted to punt it. We get a miscommunication on what we're trying to do. From the coaching staff all the way down to the people on the field. We've got to be better right there. We really wanted to pin them deep in this situation, but we snapped the ball instead of moving back to get our punt off and pin them deep. We didn't end up doing it, put our defense in a little bit more of a bind.
Yeah, and Nashville's really working against the clock here. There's not too much time left. They try to get down the field. Call here was pass interference.
Yeah, we got a PI right there. Can't tackle the offender. While the ball's in the air, we've got to be better about that and just and really get in better position.
And number 10 here working his way in the end zone. Broke a few tackles, though, in the backfield.
Yeah, he sure did. And then on the edge, we've got to make sure we set the edge well. We've got to be in shoulder leverage tackling position. We weren't in shoulder leverage tackling position, so he's able to get the edge right there after we had him what looked like wrapped up in the backfield. Should have finished that play in the backfield, but we didn't.
Yeah, good job, though, breaking down on 2-point conversions. So Arkadelphia still leads 21-19 here. And y'all are going to try and run down the clock a bit on this drive.
Yeah, we really did, and just felt like we missed an opportunity of finishing this drive and getting that next first down. Kai does a great job of staying in bounds to keep the clock moving right there. We just got to be able to finish this drive. Offensively, we've got to be able to finish this drive right here. We've got a miscue. We run this play earlier on in the week. We've got a miscue on how we're running the play, just very uncharacteristic. I feel like one of the things that we did is make the game into something more than it was, rather than just focusing on doing our job. And we've got to do a better job.
Yeah, open receiver there, able to get underneath, and was that cover 3 again, and get some yardage after the catch.
Yeah, so basically we are backing up here to try to keep everything in front, try to keep them in bounds, tackle them in bounds. It's an outstanding catch by Nashville right there. And we just, really our offense had a chance to finish the game off. Our defense had a chance to finish the game off, and we weren't able to do it.
Yeah, Nashville really fighting hard at the end of the game, and now they're in a situation they're able to run down the clock a little bit. They're trying to inch closer to the goal line and trying to set themselves up for a field goal.
Yes, great tackle by Kai right here. So this is a tough play to swallow as well. This is not what lost us the game. There were several plays within the game that we didn't execute very well, and we didn't make things happen. But the rule the snapper has got to clearly pause before he snaps the ball after the ready for play. The ball was snapped before the ready for play, so it's either it's one of two things and can be called one of two things, either an inadvertent whistle or it could be called a snap infraction.
That was a tough play to swallow as well. After Nashville makes the field goal, goes up by 1 point, going for the long throw there, hits the safety in the hands, falls right into the arms of Pfeiffer. No one in between him and the end zone, really, and the ball goes right through his arms.
Yeah, and that's a play that we've got to make. And there were so many plays, throughout the game that we just didn't make, that really cost us the game. An inch here, an inch there, a step here, a step there, a block here, a block there. Any one of those things could have helped us win the game. We never want to leave the game up to a last-minute field goal. We never want to leave the game in somebody else's hands. We want to make sure that we're controlling our own destiny and that we do the things that we're able to do to win the football game. And that's what really we refocused in on that on Sunday, and hopefully this week in practice we'll be able to focus on those things in practice and that desire to get those good practice habits in practice. Hopefully that'll lead to good things.
The team played so well to start the season with those 3 wins against 3 really good teams. Do you think this loss was kind of a wake-up call?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big believer in that everything happens for a reason. If this loss is going to lead to better practice habits and better, and we've got a choice. I mean, look, our entire football team has a choice on: are we going to allow this failure to lead to something good? And I think really, as many people as come up to you and even our players tell them how good they are after we win against 3 good opponents. We as a football team can never buy into that. We can never listen to that stuff. So you don't want to have a wake-up call. And if this is a wake-up call, then we've got to make it transform our football team into a great practice habit football team. And we're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to a great response on today in practice. Just the same things we talked about on Sunday in our meeting.
And what's the biggest thing you touched on Sunday? What's the biggest thing you got to fix going into next week?
Well, I think just for us, it's really energy, effort, and focus in practice. We can't go out there in practice and expect, and that goes for everybody. That goes for the guys who are showing us a look on the Nashville defense, or this week it'll be the Robinson defense or the Robinson offense. We can't expect poor practice habits to lead to a victory. So everybody, all 22 that are on the field at the same time in practice, have to be great at practice so that we get a good look, so that we're able to make sure that the play design is good, and then that our effort within the play is good in practice, so that our habits, our blocking habits, our running habits, are we getting on the right track in the backfield? Are we reading the right guy at the quarterback position? Is the linebacker fitting in the exact right place? Because there were times when in practice we'd fit in the wrong place, but somebody else would make the play. Well, a lot of times it's not going to look like that in the game, so we've got to be able to simulate what's going on in the game in practice. And I feel like our players, in that meeting, we were able to understand that it's the biggest thing that we got to fix is our practice habits, our energy, our effort, and our focus within practice.
Well, now Badgers have another big opponent coming up in Joe T. Robinson. They're one of the top 5 teams in 4A, have beat Arkadelphia in the regular season 3 years in a row now. And so they're a really good football team. You got to think they've looked at the film against Nashville, saw how Nashville was able to beat y'all in the passing game, and Robinson's a team that throws the ball really well. So how are you going to counter that?
Well, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to evaluate their film and make sure that we're stopping their best plays offensively. We're trying to on defense, and then offensively we're attacking them where we need to attack them. I feel like we had a great game plan in the state championship game when we beat them 28-0. They scored 0 points. I feel like we had a great game plan, but they're also going to look at that film when they got beat, and they're going to try to adjust based off of that game plan. And then so we've got to come up with things that we feel like are going to attack them. And I think we've got coaches that are going to do that. We've already done it. We look forward to putting that practice in plan, or that plan in practice this week. And we look forward to the challenge. Look, if life is always easy, everybody in this world would be happy. And life is not always easy. You have to be able to deal with a loss and be able to look at the next opponent. And I feel like our players are ready to do that. I feel like our coaching staff, we've already done that, and can't wait to get back out on the practice field.
So Robinson, every year they have some really good athletes, really solid players, Division I prospects on their team. Last year had a few guys that graduated, moved on, but every year they tend to replenish those star players. So who do they have to watch out for this week?
Yeah, I mean, the quarterback's good. He was the backup that came in the state championship game. Their quarterback's good. They've got several skill guys that are good. And I've been asked the same question twice today. Who really sticks out to you on film? Well, they've got playmakers all over the place. Mm-hmm. So we've got to be able to stop. They've got 2 running backs that are really good. They've got several wide receivers that are really good. We've got to be able to handle them up front if we want to be able to compete and win the football game. Our defensive line has really got to attack their offensive line, and then vice versa. We've got to be able to everybody on their defensive line. I mean, they're good football players, so we've got to be able to block them. And very athletic skill guys. I mean, that's one thing you notice. Their team this year is very athletic at the skill positions, and they're good up front. So we've got to be able to put together, a full 4 quarters of offense, defense, and special teams. And
if you had to pick one key to victory, what would that key be?
Well, I think again, we've got to secure the ball. We've got to secure the ball and make sure we don't turn the ball over and convert on third downs. I mean, really, there's, if you're asking me one key, if we are able to hold on to the football and not turn it over, then I think they would say that would be the number one priority for them as well. So we've got to get them off the field on third down defensively. But that one key in my mind would be securing the football.
Well, it's going to be a great game on Friday night in West Little Rock, and so if you can make it up to the game, be sure to do so. 7 p.m. kickoff. If you can't make it, we'll be live streaming it on ArkadelphiaBadgerTV.com, so be sure to tune in there. If you can't make it to the game, it's going to be a great one. Rematch of last year's state championship game, which Arkadelphia won, of course, 28-0. But Robinson coming back again this year with a great team. Arkadelphia looking to bounce back from last week. And so it's going to be an amazing game. We hope you'll follow along with us, and then we'll be back next week with more of the Gerald Eldridge Show to break down the game and look ahead at the rest of the conference season, guys. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Sponsors of the J.R. Eldridge Show include Southwest Sporting Goods, Taylor King and Associates, Mary and Martha's Florist and Gifts, Price and Company, Doctors Rob and Gary Rucker, Eccles, Thompson and Kneebone, Farm Bureau Insurance of Clark County, Turner and Turner, Attorneys at Law, Blake Bell of Edward Jones Investments, the accounting firm of Turner, Rogers, Manning and Plyler, Welch Funeral Home, Roger Wingfield of State Farm Insurance, and Southern Bancorp. The J.R. Eldridge Show is produced each week by the Rogers Department of Communication at Ouachita Baptist University.